risk. I think he is a loose cannon, and loose cannons tend to misfire.
You heard from Donald Trump. You're now hearing from Hillary Clinton, both speaking to CNN minutes ago. Well, we talked about the divide in the Republican Party. We're now joined by Matt Schlapp, the chairman of the American Conservative Union, the country's oldest conservative lobbying group. He also served as the political director for George W. Bush. Matt, thanks for being with us. Leon Wolf is also with us. He's the managing editor of the conservative website, Red State. Leon, I want to start with you. You voted Republican your whole life, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. You know, as a matter of fact, I grew up in Alaska, and I was riding on a Don Young for Congress float when I was 3 years old in 1980. So I haven't voted for Democrats since that time or worked for or helped the Democrats.
All right, so it goes way back. If Donald Trump is the Republican nominee, will you vote for him?
Absolutely not. And I think, you know, he definitely is going to be the nominee at this point, and there's just no way. And for me, it's not an ideological thing, at least not primarily, even though I do have ideological differences with Donald. The problem is that I think that he's really unfit for the office as a human being. And really, I think the only thing that you need to know about Donald Trump is that as we woke up yesterday, I think the whole country knew, everybody knew he was going to win Indiana. He was going to more or less sew up the nomination. Everybody knew that. So what does he do? He goes on TV and says that Ted Cruz's father was involved in JFK's assassination because of something he read in the National Enquirer. That's not behavior that you expect from a person who's, frankly, mentally balanced. You know, when he mocks the disabled reporter for his disability, I would be ashamed of that behavior coming from my 15-year-old son. So it really is the sort of thing that I would just be terrified of what would happen to the country and to the world at large if he was the president.
Matt Schlapp, you have said that you will vote for the Republican nominee, even if it is Donald Trump. Why? And how do you react, by the way, to what Leon has just said?
Well, look, it's very simple in America. We have what has developed to be a two-party system. We have one party, the Republicans, who are on the center-right, and we have another party, the Democratic Party, that's on the center-left. And independents who run separate and aside from the parties don't win in America. So one of these two, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, is going to be the president. To me, it's very clear. Even if I only think Donald Trump will be a reliable conservative on about half the issues I care about, and I don't even know, I don't know what he's going to do, but let's just say it's 50%. He'll be so much better than Hillary Clinton, who will be wrong on every single issue 100% of the time. She will pick bad people for the Supreme Court. She will not uphold life in the womb. She will not be for lowering our rates of taxation in this country, which are the highest in the world. She will not be able to add jobs and turn our economy around. And we've already seen her foreign policy disaster, which resulted in deaths in Benghazi.
But Matt, I don't think Leon was talking ideologically here. He was making the point that in terms of his character, but in terms of his character, making fun of a disabled reporter, some of the sexist remarks, saying many Mexicans are rapists, saying all of America should close its borders to Muslims for a certain period of time. That this is problematic. Yeah.
Let me be clear here. If we're talking about somebody's moral authority, Hillary Clinton was part of an administration and her husband was impeached. How many presidents in America have been impeached? And that was because of moral turpitude. So I don't exactly think the Clintons are going to be able to run out there and make the moral case as to why Hillary Clinton should be president. I think that's absurd.
But I think, Matt, this is about what some Republicans, including Leon, are saying. And Leon, can I take it a step further with you? You say you won't vote for Donald Trump because some of the things he's said and done that sort of make you question some aspects of his character. Will you go one step further and vote for Hillary Clinton?
No, I mean, look, the ideal situation for me would be to vote for somebody who's, you know, a third-party candidate or just not vote at all at the top of the ticket. And it's not really a moral issue. I think there have been plenty of good presidents and politicians who've not been especially moral people. It's a question of judgment. It's a question of character. It's a question of what am I going to wake up and find that Donald Trump has done to the world tomorrow, you know, if he's put in the office. You know, he responded to Marco Rubio making a crack about his hand size by defending the size of his manhood in a debate on live television. What is that kind of person going to do when somebody like Hugo Chavez comes to the UN and makes some inflammatory speech? Back in 2004, George W. Bush understood you have to let the little man rant and have his saying, but as the leader of the free world, you got to be the bigger man sometimes. Donald Trump is constitutionally incapable of doing that, and it terrifies me as somebody who has to raise a daughter and a son in this country of what will happen.
And I'm raising five young daughters, and I'm raising 5 young daughters, and I understand that we want our president to also lead in a moral sense. And let me tell you, I think some of the objections both of you have raised are completely legitimate, and it's why Donald Trump have to reach out to people and demonstrate to him that he has the moral authority to be our president. I think that's a very fair standard, and I think the American people are fair, and they're going to make a judgment. But the one thing that's clear about presidential races in America, Donald Trump is not on trial. What a presidential race is in America is it is one person against another person, and you have to consider them together. So if Leon doesn't vote, or if Leon votes for a third person, a third party, he's essentially saying he's fine with Hillary Clinton being president. As a conservative, I will never, until the last breath is out of my body, stop fighting to prevent somebody like Hillary Clinton from becoming president. She and I have nothing in common politically. I don't agree with anything she stands for, and it would be a terrible thing to continue these Obama policies for another 4 or 8 years.
But Matt, let me put to you, I'm sure you've seen Lindsey Graham, the veteran senator, Republican senator's tweet. If we nominate Trump, he means the Republicans, we will get destroyed. And he adds, we will deserve it. Do you think
the only
this
person
is
who
really,
got
I
this,
mean, I suppose the man to represent the Republican Party in this new era, this new chapter for the
Look,
GOP.
I have respect for Lindsey Graham, but I voted for John McCain and for Mitt Romney, the last 2 Republican nominees, who were both moderate to liberal Republicans. And I held my nose and I voted for them. You know why? Because I thought both of them would be better than Barack Obama. Many times conservatives have had to swallow a choice that wasn't exactly their ideal choice. And for Lindsey Graham to say that Donald Trump's going to get destroyed when he, as a presidential candidate, got destroyed in every conceivable way, including in polls in his home state, is no person to judge about someone's political viability. In fact, I think all of these people who are saying Trump doesn't stand a chance in the general election, I think that we have to sit back and see what happens, because what's happening on the Democratic side is 30% of Bernie Sanders people are saying they won't vote for Hillary. What we're having is a realignment of the parties in America.
Listen, but Matt.
All right, we've got to leave it there. I think, go ahead. Last word, Leon, and then we're going to have to leave it there. Go ahead, Leon.
I also voted for McCain and Romney without compunction, but Trump is a completely different issue. And again, I don't believe that his ideological core is substantially different from Hillary. I think they're both congenital liars, but at least Hillary is rational. So I don't know that Hillary would actually be a worse president than Donald Trump. That's the fact.
All right, Leon Wolf, the editor for RedState.com, Matt Schlapp, thanks to both of you for joining us. We really appreciate it. A very good and interesting debate there, just as on the day that Donald Trump appears to be the presumptive nominee for the Republican Party. Thanks to both of you. A lot more to come this evening. A war-torn city, potentially another glimmer.